Welcome to another episode of Outside Shots. We're back in the studio for like what feels like the first time in like a month. We're here hella early too, because EJ wants to be here at like the crack of dawn. I mean, I swear this show would start at 6 o'clock in the morning if it was up to him. You're welcome, people. I stave him off. But for whatever reason, we're here at 8 o'clock. Thanks, Eddie. I don't know why that half hour difference makes all the difference in the world. Like Eric and I are both like, what the are we doing here at 8 o'clock in the morning? He does not care at all.
I mean, what's wrong?
Man, bro, like I had to wake up at 6.
The sun is out. It's beautiful. You know, think about a month and a half from now. If I tell you to be here at 8, you're going to love it because you at least get a little cooler weather before it turns 100 on you. So you got to enjoy it, man. You got to get up, man. Like every second that your eyes are open, you get to see the world. And you get to experience life.
See the world. See the I-10 every day. Instead of when you're driving by that IKEA off of Warner and just looking at the views of Ahwatukee to my left as I see traffic backed up.
Just gives you an extra few minutes just to appreciate.
Okay. All right. Listen, the Suns have been off for 3 days. They just beat the Lakers on Sunday. A much needed kind of bounce back game after losing the first 2 after the All-Star break. EJ, sometimes I don't know what to make of this team. And I think the best way I can say it is it feels like they're putting things together, but it's a work in progress. I am also kind of tired of talking about the what if, they just need more time. They just need more time. They just need more time. Like, I get the big three need more time, but, we're running out of time. There's 24 games left in the season. I don't really care about that anymore. I just want to see these guys play at a high level, no matter who's on the court. And I think the first game, I thought they played decently well. They just kind of fell apart a little bit. The second game against the Rockets was kind of inexcusable. You can't do that, especially when you're in the thick of a playoff race like this. So, what are you expecting for these next couple games? Because after these 2 against the Rockets, it is literally a death march of the teams that they're gonna have to face in the next 3 weeks.
Well, again, I mean, this is what you want, though. I mean, like, you can't run from it. This is the NBA. This is the marathon. It's a streaky year for everybody because it is 82 games. And you want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the season. And that's all that matters. Put yourself in great position and then play your best basketball at the end going into the playoffs. It's pretty much understood that no matter where the Suns finish, they're going to have a tough series in the first round.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to have a very tough series in the second, and it's going to be ridiculous in the third. So it's where we sit. It's parity. I think as fans, we've always wanted this, and we have it. And now we just have to pray and hope and every other thing that you like to do to make things better for the Suns, that they stay healthy. That's the key, because I don't care. If this team is healthy, they're a problem for anybody that they face because of the way that they score.
Yeah.
So, so we need to feel good about that instead of always really looking at the negative.
Yeah.
And that's what we do, especially Suns fans. You need to stop. Look at the positive, too. Like, we got Kevin Durant. We got Devin Booker. We got 2 of the best scorers in the league. We got Bradley Beal, who can give you 50. Okay, and he's playing a subservient role. But
EJ, some people think that Bradley Beal should come off the bench.
No. No. The people crazy. No. Get out of your ever-living mind. It doesn't. No. The way Vogel has rotated them has been good. Beal does get his quality time out there on the floor. No. It's not happening. So get off of that train.
I try to
They
tell him.
just need him healthy. They just need him out there because I think he is a perfect antidote to KD and Devin. He really is. I thought he did a good job handling the ball when he was healthy, and I thought the rhythm was there. And it's just unfortunate, with the hamstring with him. He's had some tough luck with injuries, people. And let's just hope that he sits out as long as he can to get himself closer to 100% and not try to rush back.
What have you thought about the addition of Royce O'Neale to this lineup? We haven't seen much of Thad Young outside of that one game against the Rockets, but I think Royce O'Neale has been a nice, easy fit for this team and kind of provides a lot of what they were missing. The intangibles, he plays tough defense, can hit the outside shot. He can pass the ball. He do a little bit of everything pretty much, and I think he's made a seamless transition into this team.
No, what he's done has not surprised me, right? I mean, you saw him play in Utah.
Yeah.
You saw him, really have a physical confrontation with Devin every time they played. And Royce probably would tell you it didn't work. Devin was still dropping 50 and whatnot, but he made Devin work. At times he got into his head. And that's what we need from him. We need that physicality first, defense first from him. Everybody on this team, we need something else first before we get your offense. If that makes sense, people, because we got 3 guys that can flat out score. So with Royce O'Neale, you want his defense first, his tenacity around the paint, getting long rebounds, just being that bad boy out there, hard fouls, sending messages. That's what we want from him and Josh Okogie, okay? Those are our guys in regards to disrupting because we're not a big physical team. We're a finesse team, other than Nurkic. And so that's what and Eubanks, I would say. So that's what we have to rely on, and that's why I like him. And then if you leave him open, he'll knock down threes.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of guy you want out there with them. And everybody on this team has a job description. And only 3 guys' job description is to score. The others is to play a role, take what you can, and be efficient at it. And that's what we've gotten here from Grayson Allen, gotten it from Eric Gordon when he's been healthy and playing. And that's what we need from those type of guys right now. Josh has to get to a point where he can knock down that shot. They're going to keep leaving him open. If he doesn't make it, that's going to be his minutes.
Yeah. What have you? What would you do when Beal comes back in terms of the starting lineup?
Put him in the starting lineup.
Well, I mean, would you keep Grayson in there? Would you move Grayson to the bench and put Royce in there? Because I feel like you're a little guard heavy with those. Well, I mean, obviously KD's not a guard, but
what I would do, and I'm not second guessing Bogle people. I'm just saying if I was coaching, what I would do, I would play it from game to game.
Okay.
If it's a matchup that, you think Grayson probably will have a hard time with, then you'd start Royce O'Neale. Because, again, the reason why he's in there is what? Defense first.
Yeah.
So if it's a tough matchup for Grayson, okay. But I would stay with Grayson because he keeps guys off of him. He's tough. He tries to defend. He'll get in there and rebound. So, I wouldn't disrupt it totally, no.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's, people want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Doug Allen in the comments saying, "Good morning, guys. It was great to meet you yesterday, Saul. I met Doug for the first time yesterday, and man, that is a tremendous dude. Really, really awesome guy. Glad to meet you too. Fun times last night as my U of A Wildcats beat the Sun Devils.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Hank, EDDIE, not EDDY. Okay.
Okay. Spell it right, Hank. Come on now. Yeah, that's a good question though. How do you see Bowles' role going forward? Because he has played tremendous basketball in terms of the expectation versus the reality. I think he's surpassed the expectations. The consistency has been there for him. He has not been as erratic as he was at his other stops. Playing somewhat careless at times. Kind of free with the ball, trying to do too much. I think he has played very solid. I think he's getting better by the day. I think defensively he has been outstanding in terms of learning, help side defense, being in position, his form defensively as well. Like I think he's growing, and it sounds weird for a guy that's been in the league for what now 3 or 4 years. I've been impressed.
No, he's in the rotation.
You think it's gonna be permanent?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the rotation. I mean, based on how he's played, how could you not? Like, his defense has improved. Again, what did I say? What are you giving first other than scoring?
Yeah.
His defense has improved. He's any rebound, any ball that bounces above the rim, up in the air, he's getting. He just adds so much. He changes shots. And so, no, he's in the rotation. I don't see any reason why he would be out of the rotation anytime soon.
I didn't either, but we get back out of the break and he doesn't see a single minute against the Dallas Mavericks.
I called the game; it was surprising,
and I really, really felt like he could have made a difference in that game, at least for a few minutes, especially when things started to
I
fall
didn't understand that one either. But look, coaches aren't perfect, man. Like perfect is a lie.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I mean, look at you. Okay. As always, we're brought to you by the good folks at OG's, the best edible in the game. Go to your closest dispensary by going to ogsbrands.com, checking out your closest dispensary. Go in there, get yourself some RSOs. They got a nice little vegan gummy, which is about 100 milligrams, but it's separated into slices, so you'll enjoy that. 10 milligram slices. And then, obviously, you got your indicas, your sativas, and your usual staple of beautiful gummies. They taste great. They'll make you feel good. So get them at ogsbrands.com. Follow them on social media as well, on Twitter and on Instagram at ogsbrands. All right. We, as I mentioned a little bit ago, this next couple weeks after the Houston Rockets back-to-back is going to be brutal. And Eric, let's pull up this chart right here, and you can see after the Rockets back-to-back, you got OKC, Denver, then you have Toronto, and Toronto could be, you never know what you're going to get with them. Then you have the Celtics, Cavs, Celtics again. Then we move in to the latter part of March as well, and you have these next games where it's the Bucks, 76ers. Then you get a little bit of a reprieve with the Hawks and the Spurs back-to-back, even though you lost to the Spurs back-to-back earlier in the season. And then you got to follow up with another brutal 5, 6, 7, 8 game stretch. I mean, to the end of the season. Nuggets, OKC, Pelicans, Cavs, Timberwolves, Pelicans, back-to-backs against the Clippers, and then the Kings, and then again with the Minnesota Timberwolves to wrap up the season. That is not an easy slate. EJ, is this a positive or a negative in terms of, I know teams want to measure themselves against other great teams, but is too much of a good thing bad in this regard? That's a lot of teams that are really, really good in the top 5 of their conferences.
Dude said I had big feet.
I mean,
yeah, you dunce. I'm 6'8". How would I look with little bitty baby feet? Seriously. If I'm 6'8" and I wore a size 210, how would I look? I swear, some people, man. Some people. No, man, look, schedule's good.
Okay.
Look, think about it. The Suns play well against good teams. It's the San Antonios of the world. They've lost San Antonio twice. They lost to Houston twice. They've lost to teams they should beat. So the focus is going to be there when they play against a good team. Like, strength of schedule is so funny to me because, people get caught up in that. And you look at the Suns' losses, some of their losses this year, and people might say, they had an easy schedule, and they lost to those teams. It's all about timing, too. It's all about if that team is healthy. It's just a lot of things that go on. Like, Milwaukee was playing like dirt, for a stretch. 3-7 on the Doc Rivers, and all of a sudden now they look like the Milwaukee team that you expected them to be. No, I just think, you're going to be more focused. You got to go out there and play, and it'll get you prepared. Like I said, you're not running from competition. This playoff season is going to be ridiculous. So you got to finish the 82 game schedule. That's all. Suns have to kick themselves, without a doubt, for blowing games to San Antonio, to Houston, losing leads in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
All those things, they have to blame themselves. But guess what? You can make up for it when you go beat a good team. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how they respond. And you know what? This is what it is, man. It's like right now they're in a good position based on where they were a couple of games ago. And that's all you have to look at and just take each game at a time.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I mean, listen, I want this team to play at a high level. We've seen it, at points this season, but it feels like we haven't really gotten everybody all on the same page at the same time in any particular game. They've had some good games. That's no doubt about that. But I think individually, some of those guys have had great games. But as a team, seeing the whole picture come together, I would like to see it, and I'd like to see it against another healthy Western Conference foe or Eastern Conference foe that is fully healthy and ready to go too. Like, I want to see how we stack up against the Celtics. I want to see how we stack up against the Bucks and OKC. We saw Minnesota earlier in the year, but they were on the tail end of a back-to-back, which we've done too, so I'm not making an excuse. And we housed them, but they are a different team, and I'd like to see how that's going to look as we get closer to the end of the season. So it's going to be a fun ride. It's just, listen, man, I've seen how people react after every single loss, and the panic button is always right there, and it's kind of crazy. It kind of gets over the top sometimes. Like, I mean, when they lost to the Mavericks, you would have thought that we lost in Game 7 all over again because people were just freaking out. And I'm like, it's only one of 27 games left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Mavericks just pull the emotion out of people, obviously.
Because of that Game 7. They pull the emotion out. Mavericks are a good team. We should have won that game. And we should have built on the lead we had in the first quarter. Right,
Yeah,
we should have built on that. That lead should have been around 20, based on how well we started. And I think that's what hurt us. But didn't you all feel good the other night though when Max Strus threw that half quarter in on Dallas?
Man.
See, like, you don't have to get your revenge personally. Sometimes you can be on the periphery and get your revenge.
Yeah,
I remember when I was young. And by the way, Prong, don't worry about it, man. You don't have to be sorry. I do have big feet. But, I remember back when I was young, man, this dude, man, he stole on me. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, hit you.
Man, I didn't know he was going to punch me, right? I'm standing up on him. He's standing up on me. I'm like thinking we not going to fight. We just woofing each other. Man, this dude hit me, man, in my jaw. I felt like Mike Tyson hit me.
In a game?
No, we were playing Strike 'em Out. You ever play Strike 'em Out?
No, what's that?
Strike 'em Out is like baseball, but it's like 2-on-2, and you're pitching against a wall, but a guy's batting.
Yeah.
So, your pitch hits the wall, comes back to you as a pitcher.
Yeah.
And you got one outfielder. That's it.
Okay.
And it's excellent. I used to play it all the time. And he got mad about something, and we started woofing each other, and he's my neighbor too. Seriously, good friend of mine. Man, that dude hit me, man.
How old were you?
I was 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
Hit me, man, laid me. I didn't even fall right away. I kind of like stumbled back. And then I fell down. And I said, okay. You know what EJ did? Because I didn't think I could get him. He was bigger than me. So I told one of my buddies down the street, I said, hey, man, Sherrod, that was his name too. I said, Sherrod said something about your mama. I'm not kidding you. And he said, what'd he say? Man, he was talking about your mama like some really unsavory things. Right? And I knew that he was like crazy.
Yeah.
His name was Tommy. Can't believe I remember this. And so I didn't always have a chance to go out at night, so I would always sit at my window and watch everybody outside. So I knew it was gonna go down. So I was sitting up on my perch on the second floor, looking down. Sherrod's on the porch,
Instigating.
and
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
sitting there, and I see Tommy. Tommy's walking down. Hey, Sherrod, what? Huh? And because my nickname was Pig in the neighborhood, Pig told me. Pig told me what you said. He's like, what did I say? You heard him. And Sherrod, come on, man. No, he walked down the porch. Tommy proceeded to beat the living daylights out of him.
Damn.
I was sitting up there on my perch just watching.
Damn, EJ.
Sometimes you get your revenge on the periphery.
Oh no, not like that.
Sometimes, and after he beat his butt, he was looking up there at me. You told him a lie. How's it feel?
How
does it feel?
What do you mean? How's it feel?
I was singing Tupac to him. How does it feel?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't mess with EJ. Man. He'll get you indirectly.
All right, I guess you coming up as a gangster.
Saul, if you have somebody come up and just beat the crap out of
you,
I know who.
who started that shit. Yeah. Wow. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if that's like a funny story or if
he shouldn't have stolen him.
But
he stole him.
But it was man to man.
No, it wasn't man to man. I didn't know we were gonna fight.
Hey, but you were talking shit, weren't you?
Well, we wasn't talking fighting stuff.
But you were talking shit though, right?
We wasn't talking fighting.
You don't know how people are gonna react when you talk crap to them.
But he was talking crap, and he stole on me. See, if he had backed up, and say, let's go, I guarantee you I would have had my opportunity to get him. He didn't do that. He stole me. And he paid a price.
Oh.
I was on the periphery. I had some binoculars too.
Had somebody else.
I had to get a close up.
Doing your dirty work.
Just tapping his fingers together, watching them fight.
Oh man. I feel bad for that guy. What's his name?
Sherrod,
man.
Same guy that told me when I was made the NBA, I was pulling up, I put my Mercedes, we were still in the neighborhood, so I would have parked my Mercedes halfway on the sidewalk because I didn't want anybody to hit my car. And it was my second year in the league. And he walks out of his house and he sees the car. And he says, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I heard you barely on the team. I heard you don't make that much money like the other guy.
Bro, you just came out of your fucking apartment. What are you talking about? What?
Next thing you know, 3 men dressed in suits was at that dude's door.
Dude was hating so bad, he sounded dumb.
I mean, that's could you imagine? Can you imagine like if I was like in a movie or something like that, right? And I've hit it big, and I go to my old neighborhood, and somebody came out and was like, "Hey, I heard you don't get paid as much as Tom Cruise." Like, what the hell?
People will say that, man.
What kind of?
He was just so envious. He didn't know what to come out of his mouth. He was just so envious. I just knew somebody was gonna scratch up my car in that neighborhood, so I finally just started parking it downtown.
Wow.
And then eventually, had enough money to get my mom out of there. But yeah. So I was glad that Tommy kicked his butt.
Prong says violence is never the answer, EJ.
Yeah, don't mess with EJ.
That's why EJ didn't punch anybody himself.
That's true.
I'll be on the periphery. I started to buy his house, kick him out.
Poor Sherrod's probably on the street somewhere. We don't know what happened to him. He's got no house. EJ bought his whole property up. Man, poor guy. All right. Sherrod probably needs a drink. You probably need a drink. Not this early in the morning, though. Holy crap. It is like 8:15. But later on in the day, maybe you can go get yourself a little Four Peaks. They got all the great, beers, as you know, Peach Ale, Kill Lifter, et cetera, et cetera. They got their nice little juicy ale crossover with Bad Birdie. And it is very delicious. You can get it at the supermarket right now. I saw it at Fry's yesterday. It's fantastic. Go get yourself some. You remember, you must be 21 and over to enjoy, and enjoy responsibly. You could also follow them on social media at Four Peaks Brew and Four Peaks Pub. All right. We had this thing that happened yesterday where, the NBA wants to look at how can they throttle back the offense in the league, and making some changes. Some proposals. They don't exactly know what they would like to do, but they want to make they want to take some action because the scoring is ridiculous. And just to put it in perspective, the 7 seconds or less Suns right now would be like the worst team in basketball in terms of pace, which at the time when we watched the 7 seconds or less Suns, it felt like they were playing at a fanatical, pace. You know what I mean? And so that's how much the game has evolved offensively in the last, decade and a half. It's really remarkable. So EJ, what would you do to try and slow down the offense? What would you try to implement to try and change the game a little bit more to throttle the scoring to some degree?
And I forgot to send you this. It was a video out yesterday. It was the Bulls against the Cavs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the guy used to play for? Javon Carter. I mean, do you have that? Javon Carter drove the ball from the 3-point line. Nobody was at the rim. Just lay it up. It's 2 points. He jumps in the air to lay it up. He sees a teammate open from 3, and he threw it to him, and he bricked it. And I tweeted out, it just made me want to puke. You can follow me at Jump Shot 8, and you can see it. Now, look, that right there is why they need to change the rules. Some reason these analytical, robotic creatures that has infiltrated the NBA, and good for them that they have. Not knocking them, they're smart guys. I didn't like math. Did you like math in college?
No.
I couldn't stand math. I swear, I might as well have been in a foreign language class. If it was anything past addition, subtraction, division, multiply, I didn't want to even have nothing to do with it. Algebra, A, B, C, Y, didn't want anything to do with it. And they changed the game, man. They changed the game. They got these guys thinking home run instead of base hit. And the 3 is the home run. The base hit is just a layup. And 3 is more than a 2. But a 2 is more than nothing. And so it's just back and forth. And good for them that they've been able to get in the owners' ears and get them to pay attention to numbers, because most owners didn't play ball. And that's the only way they're going to understand the game. And so they gravitated to them, and they were able to get in. And then the combination of them and the league changing the rules, not allowing hand checking, not allowing guys to get in the space of players, changing the rule where you can't impede a guy's progress if he's moving without the ball. All these things to score more points. And guess what you got? You got more points. 46 players in the NBA averaging over 20 points a game.
That's the most ever.
That is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. I know back in my day, I can't remember, but I know one year I averaged 22, and I think I was 10. And it wasn't anybody after me. It's crazy. And now you got 46 guys. So don't tell me, and I tell you what, when hand checking comes back, and it's coming back, that's one of the things that's coming back. Mark my word. When hand checking comes back, I want you all to look at all 46 of those guys. About 20 of them won't be scoring 20 a game because they don't have an ABC move. All they got is an A. So when you take away the A, they have nothing. And those numbers will go down.
Mm-hmm.
Mark my word. Hand checking should have never been taken away. I knew they had to based on how New York and Miami was playing,
mm-hmm.
and how physical they were, and Detroit and how they figured it out, the Bulls. But, look, that's fine. I understand the worry back in the day. But right now, it's just too ugly the other way. It's too ugly the other way. No way you should have 2 guys in one night scoring 60. A guy that scores 60 should be once every blue moon. And he's the talk of the world the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tom Chambers was years ago when he scored 60 on Seattle. I had 43 and a half one time. That should be celebrated for a week or 2. That's hard to get.
Yeah.
Guys getting 40 and a half like nothing. Luka last night, the other game, I think he had 37 and a half or something like that. Come on, man. He's been doing it constantly. He is too good of an offensive player. He's got an A, B, C, D, E move. He won't be bothered by hand checking. Some of these guys will, and it will lower the scoring and it will make the game more competitive, and it'll make guys think to get open. Now think about it. If you're just jacking up threes and the guys can get up in you and take it away, then what are you going to learn to do? You're going to learn to move without the ball.
Yep.
You're going to learn to put yourself in a better position. You're going to attack the offensive glass. You're going to run 94 feet because now the only way you can really get good looks is get layups.
Yeah.
All those things will come back. And so I would give them a carrot, though. If you allow hand checking, then you should bring back the normal continuation.
Yes.
And one. That'll even it up. Bring hand checking back, but then bring back, if somebody fouls you, you get one dribble and you can shoot after they foul you. Bring that back. That'll even it up somewhat. But they have to do something. And finally, Adam Silver was ticked off about that All-Star fiasco. And I'm telling you, he's going to make changes. The way he walked off the floor after he gave up the trophy, he was not happy.
No.
So it's going to change, and it should change. Scoring is too easy. And look, I know people say, Eddie, old man on the lawn, and you know, you old school guys want to talk. I'm going to tell you till I'm blue in the face because I knew how I played. I knew how to get open in my range. L cuts, V cuts, up and outs. I knew. So you could never stop me from getting the ball in my range. I don't care how good a defender you were. You can't stop me from getting the ball in my range. Up the lane, hold them off, catch it, 18 feet. I was a monster at that. They could not do that. We all were back in the day. So think about it. If I'm very good at doing that and I catch it at 18, 20 feet, and now I turn on you and you can't touch me, like you can't touch me, and I know if you touch any part of my arm when I shoot, it's a foul. I know if you get in my space and I come down awkwardly, it's a foul. Okay? In my prime, I'd average 30 easy. Easy. Because I knew how to manipulate guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And so it's going to change, man, and I'm all for it. I'm happy that Adam Silver and Joe Dumars are going to come after this thing here, and we're going to see some rule changes coming up.
You know, what's so funny is I didn't even think about the fact that the All-Star game would have consequences for the regular season. And indirectly now, it seems that's exactly what's about to happen, which I like. I don't like. Listen, I remember when I tore my ACL in college, and as I was rehabbing, got to about the 8-month mark, and I was at full speed again. I was ready to go. And there was a couple schools that were interested in bringing me on. And I went to this place called Southwestern Assemblies of God University out in Waxahachie, Texas, a Division III place.
What was the name of the school again?
Southwestern Assemblies of God University, SAGU. No BS, right? And I went out there and we played pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a single guy in pickup outside of me took it to the hole. It was all threes, to the point where I was like, I don't even want to play out here right now because this is just chuck and duck. That's all it is. And this is before
chuck and duck, lazy.
Yeah,
when you're just running 3-to-3, you're not really working.
And this is before the 3-point, kind of evolution with the 7 seconds or less, and then Steph Curry and all that stuff, right? And it's not a pleasure to watch. I will say that I do not like this non-physical kind of glide to the basket, everybody gets a bucket kind of game that the NBA has become to some degree. Yesterday we had this discussion, and Gerald and I kind of opposed each other to some degree because he said that players today are far more skilled than ever before. I fought back on that because I feel like you can see the skill offensively a lot more because there's a lot more freedom to display that. But that doesn't mean that the guys back in the day, the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, weren't as skilled. And I would argue that they're more fundamentally sound back then than they are today. And you can see that just by the technique that these guys played with. Now, they're good players. Don't get me wrong. They're phenomenal players. But like when you're talking about not the elite players, the kind of middle tier players, I don't see it. I don't see it as much because I vehemently oppose that. Do you think today's players have more skill than ever before?
Hell no.
I just throw the lobs.
The 80s had the most fundamentally skilled players ever. The 80s. Wing players, forwards, two guards. Because, again, like I said, we had an A, B, C, and a D. Just think about what hand checking is going to do to guys that always want to dribble the ball to get their shot. Like, guys in today's game, and they're good at it. They're good at the dribbling, and they're allowed to dribble because you can't touch them. Mm-hmm. So they dribble into the very spot that they want to get to, where we caught the ball in the very spot that we wanted to get to by moving without the ball. Like, so you couldn't take that stuff away from us. If we all we could do was dribble to our strength, then if you're getting hand checked, that's going to be very difficult to do. A crossover is going to become a little non-existent, okay, when they bring back hand checking. How you crossing over and the guy got his hands on your waist? You got to come with something else. Now, it's some players in the game that will. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of skilled players in the game. But when people start, comparing it overall and say, okay, they're more fundamentally sound, no, they're not. They might be more skillful at dribbling. Okay? Mm-hmm. They might be more skillful at dribbling. But in the 80s, guys were shooting 48 to 50%, wing and two guards. If you were not shooting 47 to 50, you might not have a job back when we played in the 80s. Mm-hmm. You might not have a job. So you got to understand, like, the game has changed, and it looks like, and they're allowed to do things out there. If I play in today's game, you think I could dribble. I wasn't that great of a dribbler, but since you can't get up in my space, dude can't touch me. Now let the guy come up and get in my space. Ain't none of that now. It's turning your back kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. No. Look, eras and eras are different. The players today are unbelievable players, athletically. You admire and you love what they do, and it's not their fault. They're playing a game that has been given to them, and it's allowed them to play a certain way. And I truly believe, given the opportunity to play another way, a lot of these players would adapt and be able to play that way as they adapted to taking a bunch of threes. So I'm not knocking on the players of today. I think they're all tremendous. But stop comparing eras and stop trying to put down the 80s. And I would tell guys, don't put down today's game. I just go after the analytics of it all. I don't go after the players.
Yeah.
I go after the analytics of it all, not the players. And so, no. Go watch some films. It might be a little grainy. Okay? But go watch it on YouTube and go watch some 80s games. And just watch it and tell me. I remember J.J. Redick was talking about, John Havlicek and them, pace of play was slow. And then he was saying, they playing against firemen and plumbers and all of that. And, I don't have no issue with J.J. I think he thinks I do, but I really don't. But he said all of that. And then I went back and I watched an old Boston Celtic game. I forgot who they were playing. And they were getting up 105 shots a game. How's that for freaking pace of play? 105 shots. Even with all the threes and all the quick shots and pace of play, teams have a hard time getting it up 100 times.
Yeah.
I want to hear it, man. Just go back, do your homework first.
Prong is choosing violence this morning. Luka is more skilled than Magic. Jokic is more skilled than Bird. LeBron is more skilled than Jordan. Like, Prong, you got to stop, man.
Okay.
Because there's multiple levels to this. First of all, I know EJ's
totally forgot what I just said.
I know EJ's going to agree with me. Magic might be the most
grainy.
Magic might be the most elite basketball player of all time in terms of skill. Like, just the many things he could do out there on the court is just unmatched. Bird was phenomenal. I'm not going to say Jokic is better than Bird in terms of skill. Like, I think Bird was one of the greats of all time. And if you don't know shit about Michael Jordan, and listen, LeBron, the Jordan conversation, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. If you think LeBron's more skilled than Jordan, I got another thing coming to you, because Michael Jordan was probably one of the most fundamentally sound basketball players of all time. And that's just point blank, and that's straight out of the mouth of two great coaches, and Bobby Knight and oh man, Dean Smith. I mean, what are we gonna do here? You know what I mean? LeBron's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, and he is totally an all-around player. But come on,
it's
now.
all apples and oranges. He named all tremendously talented players.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pong, update your picture.
Put your face to your name.
But no, I mean, come on. Jokic's more skilled than Bird, really.
No.
Like Jokic in that offense is unbelievable, without a doubt. He's not more skilled than Bird. No, he's not.
That's a good look. That's a good transition though, because you did want to talk about your boy LeBron. And last night, the Lakers came back from 21 down. And I know, listen, I said the word Lakers. I know you're all about to get triggered. Don't. You wanted to talk about your boy because of how amazing he was in the fourth quarter. So go ahead.
This is for young. This is really a teaching moment.
Okay.
Really. Like, and I love, because, the way I give back to the game of basketball is, like I played for 18 years of my life in the professional league. I've been involved in the NBA in basketball, 50 years. Okay. So I got into basketball at 14 and I've been in it for 50. And the only reason I was able to last that long is because people helped me continue my progress to get better. And my give back is always I don't have my instructional academy anymore. I don't do that anymore. I don't have the patience for it, especially in this day and age of kids. And so I just got away from it. But, what I like to do sometimes is use examples. And if you all did watch the Laker-Clipper game last night, I think the Lakers were down 21, but I think they were down maybe 16 and going into the fourth quarter. And what LeBron did last night, forget about Lakers, people. I'm just talking about individual player. We're talking about skill set, right? What he did last night was a master class in how to get back in the game and then adjust to what they adjusted to in regards to what you were doing to win the game. Like, that's how you play basketball. And if most young people understood that, they would get it. And this is not a slight on Kobe and Michael, but Kobe and Michael in that situation would have kept shooting because that's what they did. And they were pretty damn good at doing it. So, but everybody is not. And so I wouldn't implore players to do that. Like, you get hot, so I'm going to shoot it all. I'm going to shoot everything. I'm going to shoot with two guys on me now. I don't care. You can double team me. I'm still going to shoot it mentality. And people say that's, they'll take your, they're not going to shy away from the big one. That has nothing to do with it. It's just basketball. And so LeBron runs off, 16, 19 points in the fourth. They get back into it. Game is tied. And they started doubling him. Now, people will say, well, he should break the double team. He was real hot. He still should shoot it. No. That's when you find the other hot hand.
Yeah.
And to be caught up in that moment of what he did, most guys, I understand, would still shoot it and they'll feel like they should shoot it because they're so hot. But what he did, they doubled, passed to Hachimura in the corner, 3. They doubled again, passed to Hachimura again, layup. Boom, doubled again, passed to D'Angelo Russell, 3. They win the game.
Yeah.
That part right there was an education. I encourage people, go back YouTube, it's probably there, watch the fourth quarter, and you'll see it. For parents with kids, take them there and let them see it. That is a teaching moment of how to dominate a game and then win the game.
Yeah.
Hear what I said? Dominate a game and win the game. Some people would have said, oh, LeBron was unreal in the fourth, man. But if the other guys would have done something, they would have won. That doesn't work. See, you want to dominate it and then you want to win it. And that's what he did last night. It was just, I'm telling you, it was to me, it was the best quarter he's ever played. And I just love those messages to continue to be sent to young players and how to play the game. So not about the Lakers, people. I don't care that the Lakers won or lost. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. We're not worried about them. They're in our rearview mirror. I was more interested in how that game finished and the master class of winning a game.
We got a couple super chats that we need to get to before we wrap up. Number one, Cycle Blue. Actually, both of them are from Cycle Blue for $25 in total. Thank you so much, Cycle Blue. Given how much defenses got away with in the 80s, the numbers that guys like Bird, Bernard, Dantley, English, and others got is absurd. They would be doing 35 points per game plus today with how much rules favor the offense.
Easy.
And then the second one is credit where credit is due. Braun is still the most complete player ever, and he showed that last night. Well-earned comeback win for his squad.
At 39 years old.
At 39 years old. There's also a couple questions in the chat as well that we'll get to. First of all, Patty Mills got released today, waived today. Do you think the Suns would have any interest in bringing him in as a backup point guard?
Well, he's a champion for one.
Yes, he is.
And that pays a lot of dividends. I think, he was a teammate of Kevin Durant's. That helps. So I would imagine the Suns would take a look at him.
And they got to do it today, by the way, because tomorrow, if they're not on the roster by tomorrow, then you can't use them.
Yeah. So and that's I think why he wanted to be released.
Mm-hmm.
So I know back in the day, in '99, I did the same thing. I was like, release me, Denver Nuggets, because I threatened to play, without anything under my uniform. You know the story of that. So they finally said, I don't want this fool right now on the court naked. Let's get rid of him. So, it'll be a few guys probably released today that wants out of their contract. And so I think the Suns will have an opportunity. They have a roster spot. To me, it does nothing to put somebody on there after the 1st of March because if it's a two-way guy, he's not going to play. He's not going to play. So, something impactful, I wouldn't mind seeing it. To have a guy that can handle the ball in the second unit, take pressure off the guys, and then make a three and very aggressive, I wouldn't mind it.
We had a little bit of this discussion before we jumped on. Zeuster says, huge question for EJ. Out of the Western Conference matchups, would you rather see the Suns play the Nuggets or Clippers in the first round or take our chances with the play-in and take advantage of the youthful teams?
Look, I don't think anybody wants to play the Nuggets in the first round.
Yeah.
They're the champion, defending champion. Why would you want that? So I think, it might be hard to avoid them. But I honestly believe, to be quite honest with you, I think that's why the Nuggets don't want to play us. Let me lay that out there. They don't want to play us either. And they don't want to play the Clippers. And so what do the Nuggets have to do? Win the West. And I think they will. I think they'll catch Oklahoma City. I think they'll catch Minnesota. And I think they'll get that number one spot. And then guess what? They'll play the Lakers. Or they'll play Dallas. So
the Lakers
you can't run.
The Lakers wouldn't be a problem for them, I don't think.
But you just can't run is what I'm saying. Like any first round series is going to be hard. But I think they would like to get the number one seed so they can have home court advantage because they know they have a great home court advantage playing at that altitude.
Yeah.
And so got to just play the schedule out and just let the chips fall where they may, man. And like I said, and people will try to position themselves to play Minnesota and Oklahoma City because of inexperience. But still, those are two tough teams to deal with, man.
Yeah, they are.
Minnesota can defend. In Oklahoma City, as we'll see this weekend, man, they are no joke. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in my estimation, is the MVP right now.
Ooh, okay.
He's the MVP right now. I was on Jokic for a couple of weeks, but what Shai Gilgeous is doing, it's ridiculous, man. And so, I would be leaning towards Shai Gilgeous right now, and I think a lot of voters are as well.
I'm excited to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on Sunday against OKC or against the Suns. As OKC comes to the town, we have a takeover that night, so that'll be fun.
Before you go, I got to throw this one out.
Yeah,
Did you see the Damian Lillard?
Well, I was about to get to that.
Where you going?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Excuse me. Let me let you do your thing.
Damian Lillard's a little depressed. because he's in Milwaukee, and he says he doesn't, quote, have much of a life. Go to practice, go home, watch boxing, play video games. Man, I type in boxing website, Fight Hype on YouTube 100 times and be praying for something new to be on there. Seriously, I don't have much of a life. I've never been to Milwaukee. You could probably attest to this. It sounds like a pretty depressing place. Is that true?
How does Milwaukee fans feel about that, right? And see, so I remember when I went to Athens, Greece for that year, right? And I played, and I didn't know anything about the place. And I just really locked myself into just a particular piece. Now, people know I'm doing a doggone podcast. They're calling me. What do you want? Who is this? Don't call. Who?
What is going on?
My name is not Jeffro Shirley.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Phone calls in the middle of a podcast. Go ahead. Anyway, so you're in Greece. You locked yourself in.
Relax a little bit. So locked myself in. Didn't know where I was. Didn't know what to do. And then finally, people like, man, why you always eating at McDonald's? Why you? And they said, man, you need to go over there. You need to go here. You need to go there. And then I opened up, and all of a sudden, I started venturing out. And I was like, man, I've been missing out. Like, and then I enjoyed myself. Every city has greatness about it. So I don't want to hear that. Like, Milwaukee is not a bad city. Like, and when the weather gets good, he's going to love it. They're right on the lake. You can go get you a boat, sail. You can do a lot of things. They have great restaurants in Milwaukee. People are tremendously nice. If he's a golfer, man, you talking about some golf courses? Oh, my land. Like, and then guess what, Damien? You can get on the highway and drive 45 minutes and you're in Chicago. One of the most beautiful cities and best cities you can ever go to. Matter of fact, if you don't like to eat dinner in Milwaukee on your days off, just go to Chicago and hang out and have a good time. Are you freaking kidding me?
Eric, do you have something?
Well, so Dame also said in another interview, quote, I thought we was going to be how Boston is right now. So in the span of one day, he basically craps on the city that he plays in, and then he said, I thought we would be better than we are.
I mean, he's all over the place, but here's the other part that's kind of disturbing. This is the part that's disturbing. He makes about $500,000 every 2 weeks, every week. Man, they could put me in a damn basement with a black and white TV, a pair of pliers. That's how I could turn the channel. A hanger for an antenna, okay? And I'd eat McDonald's for every day for as long as you want me to. McDonald's kind of nutritious a little bit now. No, I don't think I can eat McDonald's, but you know what I mean. And are you kidding me, Dame? Dame, you at home, and your TV is probably big as Saul's head. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Don't say anything back, Saul. Somebody else is going to come beat you up afterwards.
Yeah, right? Random shots. All right.
I mean,
anyway, for $500,000 every 2 weeks.
He probably got a 100-inch TV sitting there playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
In a hot tub, like Scarface. He got a cook in there cooking him food. And he bored. He go to the game, he driving in probably a $300,000 car.
Yeah.
And he bored.
You know what, though? I mean, listen, I've always thought, like, if I hit the lotto and I had like $500 million, would I get bored with life? I think I would.
I understand that. I'm not saying that money makes you happy.
Especially if I was in Milwaukee.
Money does not make you happy. But what I'm saying is, people we don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Go tell that to LeBron. Go tell it to KD. Go tell it to Book. They can understand it. But when you venture out of your peer space and you're complaining and you're making $50 million a year playing basketball,
it's hard to get sympathy that way.
The normal person don't want to hear that.
No, I know.
So keep it in-house. Go to Lil Baby. Go to your rapper buddies. Go to them and complain. Like, there's certain things you just don't bring out of your space.
How do you
and
know about Lil
complain
Baby?
about. Hey, him and he and James Harden be giving each other $100,000 gifts.
Oh, okay. That's how you know. All
Like,
right.
no, I was listening to Lil Baby coming in here.
Oh, no, you weren't.
Yes, I was. Don't tell
You
me
can't
I
play the
wasn't.
song. You can't play the song. We're gonna get
No,
demonetized.
I'm not playing the
You can tell
song.
us
I'm
the
getting ready to
song,
show you. No, I'm listening. I'm listening to all my stuff.
What you got there?
I got Major 9. I got. Come on, man.
All right. I thought you wasn't hip to the game, man. I'm sorry.
BJ Armstrong tried to go at me on my radio show, Sirius XM NBA Today, 4 to 7 Eastern Time, 2 to 5 Arizona time. He was on my show yesterday. He trying to go at me a little bit, talking about I didn't know anything about rap. He from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
He telling me, I said, I thought that was Motown. You know, so, no, I mean, come on, Dane. Dane, we don't want to hear that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
Saul, you win the lottery. What is it, 500 million right now?
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody want to hear about, everybody's asking me for stuff and I just don't know what to do.
No.
Man,
listen,
go kick rocks.
Listen, it's just like I've seen these memes across social. If I hit the lottery, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs.
Well, the entire PHNX studio is going to be completely redone all of a sudden.
Like, what the hell
Nobody
is this?
would know. I wouldn't tell anybody until I was secure and away from everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't.
If I don't show up for outside shots one day.
I tell you what,
you go.
though. I tell you what. What would be your favorite charity? Like, if you did win, other than my norm was Helping Hands for Single Moms,
Mhm.
right? And I want everybody to make sure, come October, 3-day weekend, talking stick, we have a great time. But other than me giving money to them, I would give my money. First, I want to ask you, who would you give your money to?
The homeless.
And I would do it too.
Yeah.
I would give it to the homeless.
I don't, it's a complex issue, and this is way off topic, obviously, but it's a complex issue. But listen, man, in 2013, 14, I was on the verge of homelessness.
Yeah.
And I almost lost everything. I had gotten divorced. It was hard for me to find a job at the time, getting out of the military. And, I even applied to places like Taco Bell and McDonald's just for a minimum wage job. Couldn't even get in there because they kept saying I was like overqualified, but I couldn't get another job because I didn't have a college degree. And so, things started to fall apart. And I saw a path to where, I could be out on these streets.
Right.
Like I saw that. And so I don't think it's always just, obviously you have people that have the mental issues and their drug addiction and stuff like that. I get that. But there's another section of people that it's just been a series of unfortunate events that have led them to homelessness. And that's, I would like to do something to build a facility to house more of those people, to rehab them and things of that nature.
The reason why you and I do the show, because that's exactly what I would do. I would take it, but I am gonna, create something here coming up in the next few years for the homeless. In my mind, I'm working on it right now. I would encourage people to go down to St. Vincent de Paul and volunteer your time for a couple of hours or whatever, serve meals. And you'll be amazed at the amount of people that come down there and to get free meals. And it's not just all people that you would think. It's people right now that have degrees.
Mm-hmm.
They have degrees, but they don't have a place to live right now. They're living in their car. It's a struggle. It truly is a struggle. And it's not, people look at homeless people as like people that didn't do the right thing. As you said, drug addicts and alcoholics. That's not true. It's just people that's just down on their luck. People that made a mistake financially. And now all of a sudden they're on the street. And so, I would automatically.
And then on top of that, even going to the addicts and the, sometimes, you feel like there's some schizophrenic people out there that are just, screaming down the street or whatever. But like, if I have something extra and I'm walking by, what does it hurt? What does it hurt to give them a little piece of food or a bottle of water or something like that? Even if they have...
Do it with your heart.
Yeah.
You do it with your heart because it is some of them out there that's not homeless.
Yes.
And they're making money.
True.
Case in point, and we can end it with this. I'm in Greece.
Mhm.
Every day, I'm driving past this young man. And he's on the street, and he only has one leg. And he's like, I just need some money. I need something to do. So I pull over, hand him some money. Every day, give him money, give him money. One day, me and the missus out at a nightclub.
No.
This true story.
Did he have a leg?
Out at a nightclub.
He had both legs back.
Out at a nightclub. I look on the dance floor. This fool out there like John Travolta. This fool's out there. He's swinging around. You know, they throw plates in Greece. You know, they throwing flowers at each other and stuff. And he out there in the middle, got his shirt open. People, this is a true story. I am not in any story I tell on this podcast. I am not embellishing. I'll tell you the truth. I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like woozy too. I'm drinking the Uzos. I'm just sitting back there.
Uzo, yes, let's go.
Eddie in Greece was big time. So I'm back there in the VIP. I'm looking at him, and I got, and I had bodyguards. They had bodyguards for me, but they would there was one violent crime there in the whole year I was there. So I wasn't worried about anything, but I'm sitting back there. I told one of my guys, I'm like, you see him? He's like, yeah. Because they would follow me to practice in another car. And so I was like, that's the guy I give money to. He's like, that is him. So I wanted to go at him right then and there. I said, no, I'm not going to say anything. The next morning.
Oh, let's go.
This fool is out there again. He actually tucked I don't know how he did it, but he tucked his leg up under him, and it looked like he had one leg. And he's out there again.
Oh, no.
So I pull up to the light. I get
God.
out of the car. And people looking, in Greece, they know you're a ball player. They looking at see who you are. And I look out of the car, and I start walking toward him. So I saw you last night. And I cursed at him in Greek. And he got so worried, he looked at me. And his leg came out of him pants. Man, this dude took off running, man. I guess he figured, look, okay, he got me on this corner. I got a lot of other corners around this country I can go to. I just fell out laughing right there.
Oh, my goodness.
And he got so far away I couldn't catch him. I said, you know what? I like you, but not on this corner anymore. Yeah. True story, people.
Hey, listen, there's been a lot of comments in here about this, and I appreciate you all for the perspective that you guys each have. But also, listen, man, when we're talking about charity, we're not talking about just giving things away. We're talking about building something that is sustainable, that is actually going to enrich people's lives in the long run. It's not about a temporary fix. It's about a long-term solution. And so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
leave something behind.
I'm interested to see what you're going to put together, man.
Hey, so. You all tune in to see us every week. Leave something behind. There's no U-Haul behind a hearse.
That's true. It's true.
Okay? Just know it. Leave something.
Follow him on Twitter and on Instagram at JumpShot8. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me on social as well at Saul_Bookman. We appreciate you all for joining us this early in the morning. Get some breakfast and coffee in your system. God knows I need to. Until next time, we love y'all.
Out.
Peace.